Hi everyone, welcome. Oh, Ian's on. Oh, Ian's on already. Okay. I started a little early. I just started a little early. I don't know if that's okay with you to start early too, Ian. Okay, hold on. I just turned on the camera already. Oh, hi, I just turned on the camera already because I was just going to start that a little early.
Hello.
Hi.
I'll just get myself set up.
Okay, I already have the camera on. We're already live. I don't know how to do it. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, what's that? I want
Hello.
maybe you can explain this. Maybe you can explain this. Okay, I didn't even go live, and this happened last
Mm-hmm.
week. I didn't even go live, and last week Gracie already posted in the chat, and this week Slee Stack Rule already posted in the chat. And then I check, and I'm like, I'm not live. How are they already posting in the chat?
I don't know because in theory,
Yeah.
until you press the go live,
Exactly, right? Because I check on my
unless
iPad. I'm like, let me check if it. And no, and
unless
it's
you
I'm not. Wait,
are
yeah.
you are you are you presetting the are you presetting it?
I don't know. I don't know about presetting. I don't know.
Are you setting it to go off at a certain time?
No, I'm
'Cause
not
people
live
can
when
get
that
in at
happened.
that
I'm not
time.
live. No. I did not scheduling it. No, nope. I didn't schedule it.
It's not scheduled.
Uh-uh.
I don't know. Because in theory, it shouldn't come on until you press that button.
Yeah, because I go to my own website to check my live status, and like my video isn't showing live, so
I
I
mean,
don't understand. I don't understand.
oh,
People can be
oh yeah, no.
posting on there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Oh,
shut
so
you
you
off.
don't know either.
No, all right, that's fine.
Hi,
So,
Gracie. And Sleep
uh,
Rule, let's say. Oh,
live
Sleep
chat.
Rule.
I'm just getting me. If anybody knows why that's happening, I'd love to know because it's just
Yeah.
under normal circumstances, it's not physically possible.
Gracie did it last week, and Sleep Stack Rule just posted this week before I had gone live. He'd already posted it, and I'm like, how do you do that? So I check on my iPad. I'm like, does it show something? Like, nope. I couldn't find anything that showed that I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe you might know. Okay.
Well,
Let's see.
there's a at least a 30-second
Oh, hi,
um,
Alicia.
a 30-second behind as well. This video. So
Oh, you're still
right,
setting up?
yeah, just slightly.
Oh yeah, Ian's still setting up, everybody. Hi, Alicia again, and Gracie and Flea Stack Rule. He was here first before we even went live. I don't know how he does that with, and same Gracie did it last week. So and Flea Stack Rule definitely says he doesn't. He had to go to FedEx, and he definitely does not want to miss the painting.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hi, Carolyn.
Well, it's always available
Painting.
later
Welcome.
on.
We have such all our regulars in
if
here.
it's critical to go and get your FedEx, it is actually available later on, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that I know that's critical. Yeah.
If
So hopefully, great.
you don't want
Sleep Stack
people.
Rule doesn't want to miss the painting. He said, "Oh, it's Ian Friday. I don't want to miss the painting."
It's not just Ian Friday. It's Ian Friday. There you
well,
go. Oh, I've not got no water.
it would be
Water.
it'd be better if it would be like Ian Watercolor Wednesday, like something
Well,
like.
you'll have to change the day then. I don't have to come on a
I don't know.
Friday.
I don't know if that I don't know if that makes a difference. Maybe I have to. I don't know if that would make a difference. And if you experiment and change the day, you know that experiment isn't going to show you true results because people are used to Friday. They're used to Friday. Might as well keep with Friday. Consistency is king. Consistency is king. You got to. If
I'm going to go
you know
in
what,
there.
I got to keep with it. It's consistent. I got to keep with it.
I'm going to fill my Muller rice pot with water because I need it.
Okay, it doesn't matter that the name doesn't rhyme. I'm not rhyme or like Ian Watercolor Wednesday. Instead, it's called Ian Friday, and it doesn't matter. Everybody's expecting it on Friday, so we're gonna stay consistent. Let's see who's in it. Yeah, Grayscale and Gracie. Again, welcome. And let's see what Grayscale says. Yep, Friday. Gracie says LOL. Grayscale says we are used to Friday. That's right. We're going to keep it Friday. It doesn't matter whether it's like, I'm just saying like, oh yeah, Ian Watercolor Wednesday, like 2 W's like that. No, doesn't matter. Keep it consistent. Consistency is king. And YouTube, and in a lot of places, and most everything in life almost, consistency is key. And then and then YouTube experts say consistency is king. No. Content is king. Content is king. I bet they would say consistency is king too. Consistency is queen, maybe. Content is king. Consistency is queen. Yeah, there we go. That's what they would say. And Ian had to step away. He had to get a fresh water. I said content because a lot of YouTube experts. Oh, if Ian is there, I don't know if he's Ian.
I am back.
Oh, a lot of YouTube experts say content is king, but they also say how important consistency is. So I say, content is king, consistency is queen. There you go. That's a new saying. They always say content is king, but they always talk about how consistency is so important too. So
is that saying that queens are lesser than a king?
I don't know. It's equal. Guess what? Consistency and content. Well, you know what? Content is king. I think content, yes, your content is just a little bit more, I don't know, because consistency is very important. So it could be equal.
They both balance each other out, don't they?
I think that
for two things to work well together, they have to work in unison with one another.
Yeah, right. I was very consistent for almost this whole year, except up until September. For 10 months, or is that 9 months? I put out a video every Wednesday for this Facebook group that I was co-hosting with a friend of mine. I put out a video every Wednesday, and my numbers did my watch number. I mean, not my view numbers did go up a little bit for a while, and well, consistency is just part of it. Content is the other part of it. You have to have both. So maybe my content probably could have been better. I had the consistency, but you can just have consistency, and that's not enough. You still got to have content.
We were talking about that last week, weren't we? Some elements of what we put out, whether people like them or not, it's not necessarily down to us. It's not under our control. Some people, you may put content out which is perfectly good. One person might absolutely love it. Another person might think it's the worst thing they've ever seen.
You got to look at the data. So that's where you got to look at your analytics. You got to look at your analytics and see, like, well, what's the click-through rate? Because your thumbnail is so important. What's your click-through rate? And then how many views are you getting? So, and how long are they watching? What's the viewer duration? What's the view duration? You got to look at all those those 3 analytics are pretty easy to find. And then you'll know like how successful your content is performing on YouTube. So like that's a whole nother thing. Like you in some arenas, maybe your content is really good, but on YouTube, how is it performing on YouTube? And those are the factors you have to look at in your analytics.
So it
really has to be data. It has to be data driven. They used to say that in education too. It has to be data driven. Everything we do in education has to be data driven. They say that on YouTube too. It has to be data driven.
None of mine is.
But you need to enjoy what you're doing too. So You could say like, oh yeah, well, this performed well, but I really didn't enjoy doing that video. Well, you got to enjoy the content you're doing. You have to establish that ahead of time.
Go ahead and do it. And
the content you're doing.
There's an old saying: "It either sinks or swims."
Right.
Right. Well, you chuck it into water, and it either sinks or swims.
Or sometimes it's in the middle.
What? Well, no, it either sinks or swims, doesn't it?
That's like saying it's black and white. I don't believe in black and white. I believe in all the shades of gray.
Yeah, there are, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't swim, what happens to you? You sink.
No, you could be like
there ain't an halfway between swimming and sinking. You're either sinking or you're swimming.
No, or you could be struggling.
Yeah, but you're still swimming. You either swim or sink.
Well,
you either stay afloat, or you don't stay afloat.
But I think there's different levels of like you're improving. So you're improving.
So
like an improvement from the week before. An improvement from the week before. Are you calling that swimming? Because you made an improvement from the week before.
Struggling less. You're swimming more, aren't you?
Yeah, something like that. Even though you're not at the total like what you're trying to, what your top goal is, you're not at your top goal where you want your videos to have a certain click-through rate at a consistent amount of time. You want to have all your videos to consistently have a certain click-through rate, and you want to have a certain consistent amount of views. And then you want your views to like eventually to increase.
I mean, the other factor is that not like we said, not everything that we do is in our control.
Right.
We may be a fabulous artist that's got all the skills in the world. We may not have a very large network of people who watch our videos.
No, I've been saturated. I have a comeback for that because I've saturated my mind in the past 10 days to 2 weeks on all these like YouTube, how to better yourself in YouTube. And the comeback to that is that you need to increase your reach. You can't just depend on YouTube. You need to put it out to like I put it out to 10 places on Facebook. Facebook is, I have all these different Facebook groups that relate to the content. They integrate with the content that I'm trying to do in this new series I'm doing. And those Facebook groups relate to they integrate kind of with the content I'm doing. They resonate with the content I'm doing. So those 8 Facebook groups plus my Facebook business page plus my personal Facebook page. So I got all that. And my data, the analytics show that most of my traffic is coming from Facebook. So that shows that's successful. That's more successful than the YouTube browser.
Well, that's generally the case with me though, on mine. But that's not unusual because we're all in groups and things like that. But the problem is we've got to be careful not to keep putting this information on groups.
I know, like once a week. I wonder, like, once a week too much? Like I was thinking, like, is once a week too much? You know?
No, I don't mean regularity. I mean, going on a group, putting your artwork there, and then going to the next group, and it's the same group of people, just a different group name.
Oh, not me. I pretty much have different groups of people being in different. I mean, there are different groups of people in different groups. They're not like the same group of people in different groups. Nope.
That's unfortunately what I tend to get. I get, not that there's anything wrong, and you end up having to put the same image in half a dozen different groups because one person's not in one group and another person's not in another group. But anyway, are we nearly ready to start?
Yeah.
You've got some explaining to do.
I have some explaining to do.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
Why? Because I said, well, the only explaining I have to do is like, Ian usually likes to either have somebody in the audience, if you want to suggest a photo, if you want to suggest an image to him next week or each week, he's looking for a new image. So if somebody in the audience wants to suggest an image to him for next week, we're always open to that. Always know that he's always open to people that want to suggest an image for Ian to paint each week. We're throwing it out to the audience because so far, only a couple people in the audience have suggested Sleeve Stack Rule, especially Sleeve Stack Rule. You're a big fan, and maybe you want to suggest an image for next week for Ian to paint if you're here, Sleeve Stack.
Yeah, that's it. If there's an image you can find on a what they call one of the free, either your image,
photograph,
or something like Pixabay, or what's the other one?
Pixabay.com, which that has copyright free images with no attribution required. But Sleeve Stack was saying, like, around Halloween, kept saying, Ian, he wanted you to paint a monster. And then
paint a monster. It's just I've got to get some good references for one. It depends. What do you mean, monster?
Oh, so Sleeve Stack Rule, you need to like get an image, like a copyright free image, kind of like should be copyright, unless you could blend it. I don't know. You need to like maybe make a basic sketch or give him description of what kind of monster you're talking about. Sleeve Stack Rule. I hope you're in here. Let me see. Is he in here?
Sleeve Stack Rule.
What about him? What about Sleeve Stack Rule?
Who asked about having a monster drawn?
Oh, it was Sleeve Stack Rule, but he's the one that had to go to FedEx. I don't know if he's back yet. He was the one that came in the chat before the live stream even started. So this week, those weeks that nobody gives Ian an image from the audience, no audience gives Ian an image, like Paul's Blind Suit for the Soul gave an image of like a favorite place that he loves to vacation in Oregon, and gave a picture of that to Ian, and he painted that, and then he also wanted Ian to paint a picture of him and his girlfriend. But well, that's the thing. I mean, then he went ahead and bought that. But I mean, you don't have to give him an image that he has to sell to you. Ian does not have to do an image that he's going to sell to you, but just ideas for images is good enough.
It's just so that there's a certain amount of interaction and interest in what we're doing. Nevertheless, if we don't get anybody, we'll sort one out. I've got tons of pictures I could do.
Then Ian either finds his own imagery, or I suggest him imagery. Usually I pick it off of Pixabay.com, which is copyright-free images.
And it has to be a copyright-free image, or
either your own image, photograph, or like
that you're giving us permission to use.
Yeah. Let me see what's going on.
We can't just use anything off of the internet without knowing whether it's a copyright-free image.
Hi, Mr. Fulton. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Mr. Fulton Mraz, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I better check.
When you set up, Dan, did you have to go through all the clicking of the child safety proof thing?
Not for a live? No, not through StreamYard.
No, did it bypass it?
Yeah, you know what? Because what's going to happen is later on, you have to go through all your video. First of all, you could just check a box saying you have the choice. You can go to advanced settings, and you have two choices. Is all my videos made for children? Yes, or are all my videos made for children? No. And you can click which one. So I am going to say no. But then you can go back through, if you know there's a few videos that maybe could be considered like child directed. like child attractive is what I call it.
Well, I
child
mean,
attractive.
I don't
Then you can go
necessarily
back and
agree.
override that master switch. You can go by override that master switch and make that video say, this video in particular, yes, it's made for children. It's not really, they call it made for children, child directed.
I don't necessarily agree with going back on videos, because you might have thousands of videos. And
well, that's the problem. You have to do that. No, you don't.
No, because at the end of the day, the contract that were made prior to all these new rules and laws, right, were made in a previous arrangement. So they can't go back on you, or they're breaking their contract with you. It's pretty simple.
What are you talking about?
Pretty simple legal stuff, that.
Well, I guess
they can't change the goalpost. If you posted something at a certain date prior to that start date of a new, we all had to tick a box to say yes, we agree to do that. Right after that point, I'm happy to do that. But
that's not what YouTube is saying you need to do. You need to go back through all your videos.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You do.
I know, but I ain't got any on mine. But just think, if you've been on 8 or 9 or 10 years, have you got time to be going back and looking at every
problem.
video?
I know that's a problem for people. YouTube that's going to be a problem for people with a huge library.
What I'm saying is at the end of the day, I'm happy to, from here on, but any previous from the date that you stated, no. That's in the past.
That's saying, but that doesn't apply to you anyway, and it doesn't apply to me, because I can go back. I have like 400 videos, and I will go through and I got pretty much. I'm going to just delete the ones because they're not high performing. Unless it's a high performing video, I'm just going to
It's just the
problem. I do actually have a high performing video. I had this thing called Worry Dolls. I have it's like my second highest performing video. It's about how to make Guatemalan worry dolls. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to mark that. I have to mark that made for children, even though I intentionally didn't make it for children, but it has like dolls in it.
Well, adults have dolls.
I know, and adults
this is my problem, you see.
Adults can be doll collectors, you're right.
YouTube's backed itself into such a bad position.
Exactly. And we're gonna pay for it, because already YouTube paid for it by paying $167 million fine in September. They paid for it then. Now they're gonna put it out to us, and we will pay for it if we make a mistake.
Well, that's another thing. This governing body in the United States, who's when do I get my cut from it, even though I'm not a US citizen? You know what I mean? I'm not bound by the laws of the United States of America.
Well, I don't know. I'm not like, I'm not at liberty to say,
hey, you know what? That's got real significance. That
you need to have a lawyer back you up on that.
Well,
where's my live
video? In England, we believe in this thing called freedom of speech, and we will not be stopped.
We have freedom of speech.
You have your speech took away from you by corporate organisations on a daily basis. When we have it took away from us, we fight. That's the difference.
Not when it comes to gun control, you didn't.
We have got gun control.
No, not when it comes to your gun laws. That got you guys. Whatever. I'm not going to. We're not going to get into that. We can't get into that.
We don't need great big weapons to be walking around with. We ain't got any large animals, and we ain't got any idiots with guns, so we don't need guns.
Oh, there's totally different opinion of gun lovers and gun collectors here in the United States. Yeah. They would not want the same rules that you have to be governed under. They would totally rebel against that. Fashion. They would never. If you're a true gun collector or gun lover,
anyway,
could not live by the UK rules of drawing.
Shall we get on with this painting then?
Yes, go on. Yes, go on.
Even this is a controversy. I've had my rant for the day. That's the rant for the day. We've done rant for the day.
Yeah, that's the rant for the day.
Rant for the day, but
on the
we've
big
still
screen.
got another controversial matter to deal with before we go any far, right?
Yeah.
Right. Diana decided that we were going to do this painting. Now, let me explain what it were. I take it that this is some sort of Buddhist priest on a rock, right? And I've changed it slightly because the background were a castle, and the castle were a Bavarian German castle. Now, what a Buddhist, yeah, if you look at it, it's not. That is not.
The whole painting, the whole picture was like Asian-like.
Well, that bit were Asian-like.
You made it more Asian-like in your drawing. You did make it more.
So what I've done is I've gone away. I've put an Asian hilltop on it, and I've put an actual proper temple. That's a drawing of a temple in the kind of area that this Buddhist monk would be. So, but and this is the reason why I don't normally do religiously inclined paintings, is that if I put some symbolic thing in there that's not in line with whatever it is I'm painting, there's always someone who comes along and moans and groans about it. So if you're offended by anything that you see today, please leave.
Please leave.
Please leave. So at the end of the day, you don't have to watch this. And it's not meant to be a specific religious thing. That's a picture of a temple that I've been able to find. That's an image of a Buddhist monk. So that's as far as I'm taking it. Whether it's correct or whether it's not correct, I don't care. It's a drawing and a painting, and it's an expression. So I'm not getting sucked into any more religious thought on that one. Now that might, like I say, offend someone.
And look at you made Asian buildings on the mountains, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Anyway, the predominant religion in many Asian countries is Buddhism or Hinduism.
I mean, in the original photo, which I believe is some sort of mock-up, it's not a real painting.
Right.
There's a Bavarian castle there.
So yeah, right.
And it just did not. I saw straight away. I thought, why is that German castle doing in front of all those Buddhist points? Like there were a Buddhist guy there. There were a hill with a bit of a Buddhist kind of, a Chinese-ish kind of thing there, and it stood out like a sore thumb. So I've got rid of all that side and put a completely different painting in it.
Yes.
So, but then again, I'm no expert on religious iconics like that. That guy may not go to that particular temple, because different types of temples have different religious orders, and I don't want them coming after me and going, we are going to kill you.
Right.
You have offended us because you put an orange monk in instead of a red monk. That's one of the reasons why I normally do not get involved with religious painting, because of the extreme lack of tolerance. Yeah.
Okay. Can I say hello to people in the chat? I want to say a massive hello so I don't have to type it. So hello, Alicia, welcome. She's listening, but she cannot participate. She's very busy. Hi, Gracie. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Christopher Baker. Welcome. I think he just left. Grayscale Painting, welcome. Love to see you here. Let's see. Nightbot. Nightbot's my best friend. Okay, Gracie, I said hello. Gracie. Carolyn to be free. Welcome. So lovely to see you. And I loved your comments on my Monday video. And I'm not done yet. Hold on. And
Christopher,
then there is Mr.
what?
Fulton. Congratulations. He's going to be in a new Disney movie. What? You're going to be in, I don't know, Disney movie, or he means like a like his school production. It could be his school play he's talking about. A Disney school play about Frozen 2. He is going to play the Blue Gecko in Disney Frozen 2 in theaters November 22nd. Rated PG. Well, my goodness, is he really going to be in this movie, Mr. Fulton? Oh, that's amazing. Okay,
just be careful about what you're saying, because you're talking about things that are actually for kids.
Oh goodness, you're right. Hi, JC.
Just be incredibly careful.
Yeah, you're right. I can't.
Right. I mean, I don't want to be. I don't want to sound like a sourpuss.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean.
People are being knocked off of YouTube for this now. So please, people, think about what you're saying before you say it.
Like if I said one sentence in the whole thing, right? One sentence in a 2 hour live.
Yeah, you know that YouTube's robots will pick it up.
Okay. Hi, JC. So nice to see you, Madonna.
But then again, you've just been talking about American freedom of speech and all that lot.
Yeah.
I declare the right to freedom of speech, and anybody who wants to take it away from me, they can come and bear arms against me, and then I'll put them down.
Okay, I think I said hello to everybody. And Leslie Stack Rule came back, but I don't think he came back from FedEx yet. Okay, everybody, I can't type everybody to say hello to you. Oh, Pink Prozac, you just came in here. Welcome. I just did a massive hello to everybody. Thank you. And then besides, when those people that come in while he's working now, I can type it in.
You've missed Rant of the Week. It were a good one, weren't it? An introduction and everything.
And then, yeah. Well, you know, like I just learned about this thing on the topic on Monday about COPPA. So, and I've been watching tons of videos on it. Hi, Pink Prozac. She's going to listen. She's working right now. She's very busy. Thank you. I really appreciate for you listening, because now I'm down to 600 hours left. As of yesterday, I had 7 hours. Now I got.
We'll get you a couple of hours.
Thank you. Now I have 600 hours left to get the 4,000 watch hours. So
you have to keep it up to that level. You can't just get to 4,000 and then that's it.
Oh yeah, I am going to cut back on my live streams, and I'm going to try to improve my videos so that my videos because that's how you get paid, is your videos getting views.
All right, well, Gracie's leaving us, so we'll see you
later. Bye, Gracie.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming by.
So anyway,
and she did stay like around 20 minutes or 20 minutes.
All right, so
I guess Ian's going to get started painting.
I am. I'm going to let you look at what. Right, this is De La Rone Langton.
100% cotton.
Langton Prestige. This is their best paper, and I've got to say it really is nice. It's paper I've used an awful lot of at years.
Don't you have to only save that for special occasions?
Yeah, I do. It's my professional watercolor paper, this actually. But I've only got one sheet of it left, and it's just feeling lonely on its own.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to paint on it, and then I've got a backboard to paint on.
And what's the size?
It's not particularly large. I'll see if it's got an American standard size for you. 12-inch by 9-inch.
Oh, thank you for telling us in inches.
Well, it's funny because it's
9 by 12 inches. Okay.
Can you see it?
Okay,
it's 140 pounds.
Right.
And it's cold press rough.
Cold press rough. Okay.
Cold press rough. So there we go. Well, where do we start? It's such a complex image. I don't know.
I picked another complex image for you.
It is a fairly. It's got a lot going off in it. It's where do you cut it down and minimize it. So that's something that I'm gonna have to think about. But like I always try to. Oh, by the way, today I'm using my because they've dried
your
up now.
pocket-sized watercolors. I read about how you were doing that earlier. I mean, you did that earlier today. You were using your pocket-sized watercolors.
No, these are not pocket size.
Oh no, your pocket-sized book.
Oh, my pocket size book. No, that's something else. This is me me Winsor and Newton professional.
Those aren't traveling watercolors?
No, it's just it's a set of 24. I wouldn't imagine that it'd be. You could travel with them.
You could travel with that.
You could. It's big. It's big enough. It's good. You could take it outdoors, but it ain't got a what they call it underneath it. It's not really made to go. It ain't got one of those rings. So it's not really made for. It's not really made for going outdoors in that sense.
If you do travel like outdoors, you have a special little watercolor set.
Yeah, I have several different watercolor sets.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Things like this. And that as one of them.
That's your portable. One of your portable ones.
Yeah, so you can hold it like that and paint with it, and it's in your hand and it's close to you. I mean, when you go out painting anywhere, you can put it down on ground. There's no big problem, or put it on a desk or something. So I mean, it's no different to that. It's just there you go. That's got more than 24. It's got about 36 in it. That. I could take that out if I wanted. I'm not into this like get a tiny little box and take a minimum.
You don't like that? You don't like the tiny little boxes?
Well, I mean, minimum I do is a set of 12. That should cover you for everything that you need to do as a minimum.
Hit the thumbs up, everybody, please. Hit the thumbs up.
So anyway, let's start having a think about what we're going to do first. So generally, what I normally do is that we've got light coming from here, a very strong light source. So I'm going to work towards that.
Where's the light source coming from again? From there, from the left, right?
So I'm going to work my strongest colour.
Yes, okay.
From there to there as it weakens.
Okay.
That way. I'm going to just let that feather out there, because that bit there is not burnt out. It's so strong that it's white. So then I'm going to bring it down a little bit like that as well.
I found out yesterday, everybody, that Ian has never taken a watercolor class. Have you taught yourself from books or anything?
Books. Remember when we used to have to go to the library?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I used to go and borrow library books out.
About watercolor painting?
About all sorts of different kinds of art.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm very carefully getting some of this yellow, right, which is only an undercoat painting, really. Round me monk, because we don't want this monk painting. There we go. Oh, we're going to show you me and try and get other little areas of yellow.
Oh, we have somebody new in here. Vermont Paint and Photos.
Very good. Oh,
he says,
what photos do you do?
I finally catch you live. Hi, Vermont Paint and Photos. He says he finally catches you live.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
Vermont is Vermont, Canada, isn't it? Or is it?
No. Vermont, I think their northern border does border Canada, I think. But no, right. Vermont is part of New England. It's like right next to New Hampshire.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize thoroughly for my geographic mistake.
That's okay.
Right. So
I think this guy Vermont Paint and Photos, his name is Bruce. I think Grayscale Painting knows him.
oh, Bruce.
Oh, yeah, Bruce.
Oh, it's Bruce.
You know him?
Yeah, I know Bruce. He comes in here, doesn't he?
I don't remember seeing him in here, but I might be wrong.
He's a good friend of Chrissy Canvas Art.
And he's a good friend of Grayscale Painting, I think.
And Grayscale Painting, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a friend. He's probably a friend of Chrissy Canvas Art, too.
Yes. So we've got this. Oh no! What's that? Ugh. A little bit of weird green stuff. So I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, and a tiny bit of purpley colour. Purple colour. There we go. And go. Like that. Ooh, radical. Feather it out. You start getting some.
Sorry, I'm checking on how I can share this out to Twitter, which I do have like 300 Twitter followers, but it's not active. I'm not active on Twitter, but I was going to try to share it out anyway and see where else I could share it out. It just gave me the option to share it out to my Gmail. Like I do have like an email list.
All right.
On Gmail, but it's not allowing me to send it out to my massive email list like that. So I'm seeing about where else? Twitter or let's see what else.
Right. So although it looks like a strong day of light, all right, up here I'm going to start putting a few bits of clouds in it, although that's very weak. There we go. That's got a. Can you actually see that? I don't know. You may not be able to.
See what? The yellow?
Because of the glare on the thing, because of the light I'm having to use, it's you only seeing because it's all wet. It's glistening. It'll settle down in a bit.
Oh, we can see the yellow.
Yeah, but I'm starting to put other colours in now, so that's the reason why I'm. Here we go. And then at the bottom of that there, put some. Oh, you really don't see the true colours.
The true color of the yellow. Right now, you just painted yellow.
On video. I mean, that's what I'm putting there is a very vibrant blue. What I'm seeing on screen. What I'm seeing on screen is a very dull blue.
It looks pale, yes.
Yeah, and that's problem. Although I'm trying to get it over to you it's quite vibrant. This, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness, this live that was taken, because at the beginning, like StreamYard just takes a snapshot,
right?
Puts it on the cover right now, and it looks like I'm crying. Oh, it looks it's a split screen. Half of it is you're drawing, and half of it I look like I am crying.
Well, you might be. I don't know. Well,
I leave that there.
To find out what you're crying about.
Yes, we're talking about the YouTube changes, which are horrible. Yeah. That's what I am upset about.
it's to be frank, it's gonna be I don't know. I mean, next year I'm gonna be reviewing month by month how I feel about being on YouTube.
Right. Hi, Christopher.
Because I, you know, it's getting to a stage where it's not fun anymore. It's like rule after rule after rule after rule, and
Yeah.
some of them are ridiculous. And you've got to take into account that I'm having to abide by rules that are set by people who I can't vote out. You know what I mean?
That you can't what? Blot out?
No, right. As far as I'm concerned, why should I abide by rules set by people who I can't vote out? That's the democratic way of life, right? And yet I have to abide by it.
Yeah.
And I can't do that because there's no means for me to redress that. So it's unfair in that sense. It's undemocratic. Nobody asked me my opinion before they brought these rules in. I just think it's like a time period where people's hard-fought rights are being stripped away bit by bit by silly, stupid rules made up by people who've got agendas. And to be frank, best way to deal with stuff like that is, I'm not specifically talking about the thing with child protection. Of course, we want to protect children, but there's lots of other rules and regs that are being put in place that, to be frank, it serves certain people, but it doesn't serve the majority. So you have to bite the bullet, but there's a certain stage where you go, well, how much of my freedom is being taken away by being on this platform? And if they take much more away from me, I might consider that to be,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I probably do
too far beyond.
Evaluate month by month. I'll do the same thing.
And at the end of the day, YouTube's got to recognise that we're their working capital. So it's got to have a balance. Or people who, I mean, I already know loads of people who said that they're not going to continue on if they keep doing what they're doing. So the warning signs are there.
What, a bunch of your friends?
Yeah, quite a few people have voiced their opinion on that one.
Right.
But the problem is with these big companies is that they think that they're indestructible, and they are.
Well, I don't know about YouTube. I saw a title for a video said, "Did YouTube just press the self-destruct button?"
Well, they've got to make business decisions, but they've also got to look after the people.
Decisions may be good or bad. That might be a self-destruct button.
No. I mean, to be honest with you, this federal agency in America that's took them to court. They've conceded to them, and yet they're doing nothing about what's happening in Europe with the I mean, we've still got all that to come. The laws that they're going to bring in on copyright in Europe, we might as well not, because YouTube's on about completely separating Europe from the American YouTube, or they have been anyway. That's one of potential solutions. So we've done what we can with that for the time being. Right, because I'm doing very delicate areas round here, I need to use a much cleaner paint from that. So anyway,
it is asking me. Oh yes, it's asking me if this is made for kids or not made for kids.
Yeah.
That's different than something than whatever.
Yeah, it's there's something on it, and it comes up and it says, "Is this a thing made specifically for kids?" And you've got to put, well, I mean, if I had a right to reply to them, I'd say you shouldn't be allowing children on this site.
Yeah, they should make a separate channel just for kids.
Well, you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be on YouTube unless you're above 13 years of age. And at 13 years of age, you've got a certain legal responsibility. And if you're on it then why should they be moaning and groaning about that? It's just certain authorities who look after kids, and the kids are absolutely a priority to protect. They can get a little bit bossy boots about it. I mean, did they not have the intelligence to realise that at the end of the day, YouTube is not a
babysitter?
It's not a babysitter. It's not for children. It isn't a site that you're supposed to go on. When I put my details in to go on it, I had to put my date of birth in it before it allowed me to actually go forward. And I know, fair enough, you can like set up a false account, but you know, these people who say they're kids and they're not, it's them they should be going after. I don't know.
I think they should make a separate channel for children. Come on. And this can be adult YouTube and have the children's YouTube over at the other channel.
They have got a separate channel for children.
I know, YouTube Kids app or something.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah.
I know, people like question it.
You know, when it boils down to it on the internet, right? If you allow your child to be on the internet for any length of time, they must have a certain amount of parental supervision. Full stop. And it boils down to the parents. And if you're happy to let your kids go on in an environment where, you know, things are unregulated, more fool you. Your kid's going to get damaged. You know, that's the big bad world out there. But too many parents these days think it's okay to just put kids on a computer and let them play on it all day. Again, bad parenting. I'm not a parent myself, but I know that you didn't ought to be doing that. Is that a second round?
Vermont Paint and Photos is giving us a little bit of a heads up warning kind of thing.
Heads up warning. What about?
He says, be careful if someone in your live chat says something non-child friendly, that will spank you.
Yeah, we know that's it. End of the day, Tony. But then again, how can we stop people from doing that?
That's why it's not child friendly. I'm already saying this is not made for children. I did not.
I mean, at the beginning of this video, and I'll reiterate it, I said that this video isn't for children or anything like that. It doesn't have any explicit adult content or anything like that, but it is not for children.
Right.
If you're a child, leave. Right?
It's but here's the part that's so nebulous, or whatever they call it, nebulous, or that when they're saying like things that are not, things can be child attractive but not meant for children, like art is attracted to children. Art's attracted to children, but
Listen,
it's not. So that's where the whole definition is a problem.
I was doing this when I was 3 years old.
I know this whole definition is a problem. They're not being, they're not clear enough. The
You know what?
Clear enough.
That is down to that lawmaking body who find YouTube. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Of course, there's cross things that adults are going to like and kids are going to like. I like a bar of chocolate. If I put a bar of chocolate and go, oh, I love this bar of chocolate, are they going to turn around then and say, oh, that's child friendly, you shouldn't be having it on? What a load of rubbish. What a infringement of my freedom of speech. Ridiculous. Whoever made that rule up in America, in that body, that governing body of whatever they are, needs sacking immediately. And if I had the authority to do it, I'd do it myself. That's how passionate I feel about it. And that's how passionate people should be. They shouldn't just roll over and go, oh, it's because of kids and because of... It isn't. It's about freedom of speech. If you Americans always go on about how strong freedom of speech is in their country. Do something about it then. Do something about it, because you're spoiling it for the rest of the world. You honestly are. But by your rule makers, right? And so-called authorities who saying that they're looking after the protection of children and all that sort of stuff, which I'm sure they are. The rules and the regulations that they are making is damaging and destroying freedom of speech throughout the rest of the world. And that's the country that says that it stands for freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
It's making your country a mockery. It really is.
It's already become a mockery with, well, I shouldn't say, because there might be some people that
I don't want to get too into politics, but at the end of the day, this is a matter that's affecting us all. And I need to speak about it, because at the end of the day, if I don't, a lot of people won't. So, you know, I don't know. It's difficult, because the way they've done it, they've been very crafty, as far as I'm concerned. Because anything can be child friendly or interesting to it's actually demeaning to children, if you think about it.
Well, they're saying that YouTube is going to become much more mature and stuff like that. And I mean, like a more adult-like atmosphere, and then that's going to end up being like bad for kids. And it's like all messed up. It's totally messed up.
It already is, because at the end of the day, if I were doing a live now, I'd say if you were under the age of whatever it is, I think it's 13 in the US, do not come on to this live.
Yeah, there's different definitions. 13 and 18 are the two major ages that they have different definitions.
Yeah, I mean, to be frank, if you're 18 years of age, in America, you can drive a car in America, can't you?
Yes.
Right, so you're an adult. In the UK, you're an adult.
You're an adult, but you cannot. Well, in many states in the country, you cannot drink. A lot of states in the country, it's not. You can't drink till you're 21. You can start driving at age 16, and you can vote at age 18.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they consider you an adult at age 18, except for the fact that you can't drink until in many states it varies on the state, but in many states of the country you can't drink till you're age 21.
Well, in UK you can't drive until you're 18. You can't vote and you can't drink, but you are protected as a child up until the age of 18, right?
Yeah, I think 16 is way too young for driving. Oh my goodness. I think people shouldn't start driving until they're 21.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
16 is way too young.
You've not got a reasonable understanding of the dangers that are involved in driving.
I can't stand that law that you can drive when you're 16.
Fair enough. If you've been if you've been put under the correct tutorship and you're a responsible individual, right, and you can prove that you are going to be responsible on that road, then fair enough. There are exceptions. Some people mature a lot quicker than others, but normally there has to be a standard age.
It's crazy. Listen to this. Vermont Paint and Photo said, that's Bruce. That's Bruce. He said, Diana, you can get shot in war though when you're 18. Yes, you can be drafted. 18 years old. You can go to war. You can go to war voluntarily, or to the military voluntarily, or you can get drafted at age 18. But you can't drink until you're 21. Well, that's not countrywide. That's state by state. They have different rulings. But in a lot of states, you can't. Like in the state that I live in, you can't. You're not supposed to drink till you're 21. Oh, but you can go to war at age 18.
So yeah, they'll use you as cannon fodder.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
Everything should just be age 18 or something. Like you have it, like all age 18. All the same.
And then everybody knows where everybody stands.
They got all these different things. 16, you can drive. 18, you can vote or be drafted or go into the military. And then, in my state, 21 is the age when you can start drinking. But there's other states in our country where 18 at the lowest, 18 is the earliest you can drink. In some of the states in our country, I don't know which states, but some of the states in our country you can. That varies state to state. Everything else, 16, I think that's countrywide. 16 is definitely, that is all throughout the country. 16 for driving, 18 for voting. Yep, that's countrywide. But it's the drinking age that varies by state.
It's a little bit like Europe, that. Although Europe is one economic environment, there are certain countries have slightly different laws and rules. But
hello, Alicia. Well, so glad you're still here.
I know, because we've battened out some controversies tonight. We've rightened the world. It's a good job I've got my Death Star almost ready. I need a target.
Your what? Your Death Star?
Yeah, I'm building a miniature Death Star.
Hey guys, don't forget to put thumbs up. Or unless my thing is not showing correctly. Maybe it's not showing correctly, the thumbs up.
I can't see it because I've switched the YouTube off. Well, the early underpainting is almost with us.
It's almost done?
Yeah, well, underpainting is.
Browse features. Oh, who knows? What's the difference between browse features and notifications?
Hey, I've never heard of that before. Browse features.
In your analytics, if anybody that knows about their analytics, if in analytics they tell you about traffic sources and there's browse features, which right now this live stream is getting all 62% of their audience from browse features, as opposed to notifications.
Oh, that's where your traffic's coming from.
It's what?
That's where your traffic's coming from. Your browser.
Yeah, but 21% is only coming from notifications. That's notification. That's different than browse features.
Yeah,
60% of the audience is coming from browse features.
That's your people browsing internet and finding you.
Oh, interesting.
I think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
There's only 21%.
No, it's that. Do you know what? It's that. It's that overly complicated that I just don't bother with it, because it could mean anything. Without being a professional analyst, every time I try looking at me analytics, I see one thing, and then I go and I look at another thing, and it contradicts it completely.
Oh, I noticed that about one particular piece of data, like the what's the viewer duration? It varied by a whole minute and a half of like what the viewer duration on a video was, and yes, it contradicted itself. I noticed that one piece of contradiction.
And one thing I know about maths is when you're talking about analytical things, they all generally tend to like co-align with one another. And if one piece of data is out of place, then it's that one thing that stands out like a sore thumb. So, right. Shall we put some orange in there while we've got him? Right, I'm just going to change my water, guys, because it's at a pivotal moment. What time are we on? Oh, another hour to go.
Hi, Christopher. Christopher says the algorithm has blessed me. Really? I don't know how. Oh, Ian stepped out of the room, I think. Because Mystic, I was going to tell him your message that you have friend requested him and posted a funny Star Wars thing. Oh, that's cool. I'll because he's not reading the chat. I'll read that to him. And then that Christopher says, Diana, if they get to 3 minutes, that helps you. Oh, okay. Well, on my video, on my most recent video on how to de-stress with art, it's showing 4 minutes. They're watching it 4 minutes. It's a 17-minute video, and they're watching it for 4 minutes. And it's so weird because I can check on the video where that 4 minute and 20-minute mark is, and it's right when I start the tutorial. It's right when I start doing the artwork. It's like for the first 4 minutes of the video, I'm not doing any artwork. I'm doing like other kinds of stress reduction techniques and stuff, and then all of a sudden, when I start doing the art making part, that's when people sign off. That's when people stop. It's like, anyway, my next Monday video, which is in the same series of de-stressing with art, which I'm using a new it's going to be a fun technique I'm going to tell you about. I made that instead of 17-minute video, I made it a 7-minute video. So I couldn't help the other one had to be 17-minute, but sometimes in the future, I am still going to make like 17 or 15-minute videos. But this next Monday happen to be a 7-minute video.
You can make videos. There's no obligation to make really long, blown out videos.
Oh, wait a minute! I have a message to you from Mystic Unigon. Mystic Unigon says that she friend requested you. So have a heads up about that. Mystic Unigon friend requested you, and she sent you something funny about Star Wars.
Oh, just not subject to something funny about Star Wars. Has anybody seen they've been advertising this thing called The Mandalorian? And in it, there's this Baby Yoda, and it's the cutest thing you've ever seen ever. Baby Yoda.
Really? A baby Yoda?
A baby Yoda. You want to see it?
Who's Yoda's partner?
Hey? Well, they don't know yet. They think it might have been born from the Force.
From the Force?
It's another conversation for another time. That.
Oh, I get it. Just like
people who theorize it, right? You know that they said, I don't want to get too into this because again, the Muppets that govern all the what is child friendly and what is not child friendly could turn around and say, "Oh, that's child friendly."
Okay, all right, don't talk about it.
Will not. I'll keep my mouth.
Oh yes, Vermont Painting is even saying it. Don't talk about it.
So
he's saying it too. Don't talk about it.
I have been shut up by some corporate body that I'll talk about adult things and I'll tell them what I think about them. Then, if that's what they want me to, if that's what they want, I can talk about adult things all the time, and I can tell them what a set of they are. I can talk all day about that. If that's what they want, come and get us.
And Mystic Unicorn says, "Who's the parents is the question." Okay, we're not talking about it.
Well, Mystic Unicorn, I'll talk to you later. You know your friend request you've made. Is it Mystic Unicorn?
Yes, that's her name, Mystic Unicorn.
Yeah, but is that a name on Facebook? Because it ain't always the same.
Oh yeah, I don't know about you. I can see how she answered. I don't know if it's the same on Facebook.
You have to put your normal name in normally. It's part of what you have to do. So it's right. So no, it's
wow. She says on Facebook.
So what?
On Facebook, she says it's different.
I've had one or two people, but thing is, I get a lot of people coming on and they look a little bit dodgy, if you know what I mean. They've got no friends that I've got, and sometimes I have to like put them to one side.
Facebook or YouTube?
Yeah, I get friend requests, and they come up and they've got no details about themselves.
Right.
They've got random photos.
Yeah, don't let them be friends with you. They could be trolls. They could be trolls trying to get your information.
Well, thing is, I'm a moderator for a lot of people, so they'd love to get hold of me, wouldn't they? Because if they got hold of me, they could get hold of a lot of other people.
All right,
a lot of people. So I have to be incredibly careful.
I used to. Oh yeah, like I used to say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll accept your friend. Now I hardly ever accept any friend request unless it's like totally like I know them or we have totally like tons of people. Most of the time I just don't. I have enough friends already that don't do me any good because they hardly ever react. They hardly act. They're not active in my Facebook group. They're not my Facebook page at all. So I just pretty much decline everybody unless it's something like somebody that I really know, like from some Facebook group or something.
Yeah. And
somebody, but I went for a couple years and accepting people as friends that people I didn't know. I was like, they would say like, you have this many mutual friends, and I'm like, and then I would check our mutual friends, and I'm like, I don't know all these people. Like I started this whole thing of like people that I don't even know, like all these mutual friends of people I don't even know. And then I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna. Well, sometimes I would still accept it, but now I don't do that.
You have to be incredibly careful because that's one way that certain spammers.
Because I know because I did already by trolls. I have gotten stung. I have gotten hit by already on YouTube, and they got information from my Facebook. So now I'm really careful about what I do on Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people don't think about this. They've got mobile devices, and at home they've got anti, anti.
No, it's called VPN. VPN. VPN means it hides where you really live.
No, they've got. I'm not on about things like that. I'm on about they've got antivirus on the computer at home,
but not on their mobile device.
They forget to put it on the tablets and the mobile devices.
No. Usually the company tells you, like, make sure you put it on all your devices. So, like, that's what recently I just got it, and it makes sure that.
As an administrator, I've had to deal with several people recently who said, "Oh yeah, we definitely got virus and antivirus stuff on," and then when we've got to the bottom of it, they've not actually put it on the computer. They thought that just because it's on their internet at home, that it were on the that.
No, you have to put it on all your devices.
And people have to be educated about that, because
the company usually, like McAfee tells you that, put it on all your devices.
More people get stung by getting having no protection like that than anywhere else. That's the one place that people end up getting scammed on, because of the mobile device is not protected when they think it is. So it's always worth. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting a middle range in that there. Just take into account, right? It's coming. This guy, this monk, if that's what he is, would you say that guy is a monk?
Yes, that's what I thought when I looked at the photo.
But when I looked at the photo, I thought, well, it looks like a Tibetan.
But now in your painting, I can't tell that's a monk right now.
No, you can't. It's just a blob there at the moment.
It could just be a person sitting on a rock.
It will be eventually, but we've got quite a bit to do yet before we. What I am doing, right, because the sun it's behind the person, right? Therefore, that should be in silhouette, but we're going to put a bit of colour in it. But the edges here, especially at this left-hand side, need to be left so that there's a bright light hitting that edge.
And you did not make that really red. Like you don't want to make that really red.
Well, the thing is, in a photograph, that's fine. In a painting, you might find that comes out a little bit too strong if you do. But this is only undercoat.
Okay.
We will be putting little flicks of stronger colour in it. But we've just got to wait a little bit.
But you don't want that to look like a monk, right?
Hey? Yeah, well, they have like an orangey red robe, don't they?
Well, the one in that picture didn't. I know they do have like orange. A lot of them wear like that orange, but in that picture I sent you, it was bright red.
Yeah, it is. Well, if you look at one side, it's like he's got a double cloak. It's red. It's bright red, and his neck, which has like a little bit of a collar, that's orange. And then there's a little bit of a thing going over his neck, which is orange. So it's orange and red, as far as I can see the picture here. But we've got to build this up first, and we have also got to put into the image that the sun that's coming from behind is casting shadow in that direction. So I've darkened it to start with. Yeah.
Right.
It'll all work out eventually. Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried.
There we go. And by adding layers, is it getting any redder now?
Let me see. Well, you haven't added any layers. What do you mean?
I just added a layer there.
Oh, God. Well, maybe I'm missing it. Let me see. Oh, when I look on my laptop, that's real time compared to my. Okay, it's real time compared to. Okay. Yes, I got redder. Yes, that got redder. Yes.
And this bit here, it's got like a bit of, it's almost as though it's got a robe wrapped around him that's orange. The rest of it will be fairly dark. There, but still semi-vibrant. There you go. While still having a hint, I'll have to probably go back over that and put a bit of shade around that area.
Let me just tell everybody, that people who came in the chat, that if you want to give Ian an image, like a photograph that you took, or it has to be a copyright-free photo, or a photo that you took, or some sketch that you've done, or you just want to describe to him something you want him to paint in words, like, because there was somebody that said they wanted him to paint a monster, and Ian's like saying, like, well, what kind of monster? So then that person would have to describe it or show a copyright-free image. For next week, from week to week, every week, he could paint an image that you give him an idea for. Anybody in the audience can give him ideas for images from week to week, every Friday.
That's what we decided we wanted to do with what we're doing on a Friday. We wanted to make it so that everybody has an opportunity to like put some input in.
Yeah, so if we don't get like an image idea from somebody, then sometimes we make it more interactive by offering him. I get 2 Pixabay images from Pixabay.com. You can get copyright-free images, and then I give him a choice of 2 or 3, and then everybody, and then in the chat, to make it more interactive, we vote on it.
So I've just friended you, Mystic Unicorn. Yeah,
oh, Mystic Unicorn already has an idea for you for next week. If she sends it, her parents, of her horse and her
parents. If she sends it to the messaging that I've just friended her to, she can. Yeah, Bruce.
Bruce says, "Why you reading the chat?" Bruce says he'll paint any photo. You can paint any photo he has, but yeah, Bruce, you have to send it to us. You have to send it to Ian.
You either have to send it to me at me Facebook page, or if you can't get hold of that, if you can contact Dan, and she'll send it to me.
Yes, my email address is on my about section on my channel.
I have to get it generally before the Wednesday before the.
Okay, he needs it. He needs it by Wednesday. By Wednesday before.
Because Wednesday and Thursday are my days where I do preparatory for it.
Wednesday and Thursday, you said?
Yeah, generally.
Unless you get it earlier, then you probably start working on it earlier.
If it's one, I mean, I had to do a little bit of research for this one. So, to get the right ambience.
To change that castle from a German castle to an Asian building.
I downloaded about 20 photos to see which one worked right with it.
Really? Oh my goodness.
So, and I had a good long look, and I did a couple of sketches, thumbnail sketches, to see which one looked the right kind of image, and that's what you do. It's always worth spending a bit of time getting your composition right.
Right.
Composition, if you don't get your composition right, you're gonna struggle with rest at painting.
Yeah. To those people listening, I just want to say to those people listening, because we have a number of people listening that that can't participate in the chat. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for listening. For whatever reason, you can only listen. Maybe you're multitasking. Maybe you can't participate in the chat. So I thank you so much for just listening.
Yeah, there's a new
house guest. Oh my God, I have to leave for. Let me step away for a minute because I'm listening to my husband downstairs, and it sounds like he's not just talking on the phone. I think we have a house guest.
All right.
I'll be right back. I want to check to see if we have a house guest. I think we do. Hold on. You're going to have to be a chatterbox, Ian.
Oh, well, I'll try. I don't know.
You're going to try to be a chatterbox? I had to be a chatterbox for 4 hours yesterday on my live stream.
Well, you can do it 2 hours at a time, can't you?
Are you talking on the phone? Oh, I thought maybe Mark was here.
So I'm trying to get this light source done a bit more here. There you go. So I'm going to get a bit of peachy coloured pink, because obviously these guys, they're bald-headed generally, aren't they? So, and again, I apologise if I'm disrespecting any particular person's knowledge of these kind of things, because my knowledge is not great. So this is basically a ball, this area. Just need to cut that off. Now then. Oh no, I've lost something. Oh no, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No. Here we go. That can go. Right, we're back now. Right, so this, like what we'll just call a ball, although it is his head, we need to darken a certain area of it. So I'm going to make it slightly brown, and obviously light's coming from there. So what do? Darken that bit. Don't know if you can see that. And again, make that even more darker. Now to give it all a good link, and because watercolor is about things blending into one another in a nice flowy kind of a way. We want to put bits of colour that link it all together. So for that, we're going to get some of this dark colour that we've created for there, and we're going to go like that. And that helps with that idea of creases in the, I don't know what they call it. Is it a gown or something, what they wear? But I believe she's back. There she is. She's back. I'll be back. I'll be back.
What? I'm back.
You are back. You're right.
You're talking about Gracie?
Hey, no.
You heard my door open?
I heard your door open, yeah, and I thought, oh, she must be back.
Yeah, I'm back. No, it's not a house guest. I thought it was but my husband was talking on the phone.
Oh. Anybody exciting?
No, just it's one of his friends.
All right, great.
Now I'm eating half of my dinner.
Oh, great. Yeah,
We ordered out.
Poor starving artist did when he worked.
Wrap. I love buffalo chicken wrap.
I love this brush. It's really nice detail, but it just like runs out of paint immediately. Let's go for a bigger gun. Right, so that shadow that I'm doing is starting to link to this person. And that's what you do with watercolors. You create links.
You create what?
You create links.
I remember you talking about that link before between in the landscape, between all the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Between all the elements of the landscape, you had created a link.
Watercolor is about things blending smoothly. And you either use very strong lines, like that, for example, a crisp line, or you have lots of nice little blends. And the combination of them makes a nice painting. Well, I'm looking at this and I haven't even made a start on that building yet. I better get
that.
It's 20 past. So I think this might be one that I'm going to have to work on a little bit later.
Off camera?
Off camera, yeah, because I don't think we're going to get it all finished. It's this is only the early stages, really. But we'll see how far we can get. I'm going to have to change the image now and see if I can find the other image. Where are you?
The architecture?
Yeah, the bit with the architecture. I forget where I've put it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go.
Anybody new that's come in the chat? I will check in a minute. I'm sorry, I'm just eating half of my dinner right now.
Right, luckily for me, right?
Yeah, you ate dinner 2 hours ago?
This building is mostly creamy white. So all we need to do is put the dark areas in.
Oh.
Which is a good thing. But what I'll do first is the roofs. So, for quite a while I used to, the buildings that they have that rise up in like a triangle kind of a way.
Triangle? What, pyramids?
Their version of a pyramid. Yeah, I think they're religious buildings. Pagodas. They've got there's one or two of these there.
Oh, pagodas.
Pagodas, or however you pronounce it. They have a roof on top of a roof on top of a roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I believe. Well, I used to call them pergolas, which is a completely different thing. Really funny. Pergolas. So I'm just mapping out the bits of roofs that this particular building's got. Obviously, a big monastery of some kind, or it could be a shrine. I don't know, because they're big into the shrines, aren't they? They're not necessarily monasteries.
Well, the architecture you got was separate from the original photo. That's something you got from somewhere else.
Oh yeah, this is it. Well, I looked up Tibetan mountain shrines and things like that. That I assumed, and I might be completely wrong, is some kind of Tibetan Buddhist monk, right, up in the mountains. It might not be. It might be in China. It might be some other Asian country. I don't know. But the actual original thing from the picture that you gave me was the castle, the building that were there were a German, one of those castle, a German fortified castle that they have in Europe, which just did not fit with the rest of the surroundings. So you could tell that it was a picture that had been put together.
Yes,
Photoshopped together, and it just didn't look right. I mean, fair enough. It was an interesting image in itself, but I felt that it were a little bit culturally insensitive. So I thought, well, I'm going to put this guy in the place where he ought to be, which is, and hopefully it comes out a bit more with a bit more forethought into the cultural aspect of it, because it is a very cultural painting, this, if you think about it. Unusual for me. I don't generally go for cultural iconic expressions.
Really?
But this is, well, I mean, that misty mountain background and some of the hills, very representational of if you look at Chinese landscape painting, you'll see a lot of that in this painting. And the building's the right type of building, and the person sat on the rocky outcrop fits the surrounding as well. So we've kind of
Paul's here. Did you see the chat? Paul's Blind Soup for the Soul. He's here.
Hey, Paul. I'll just move so I can actually see chat. There you go. Buffalo chicken.
Yeah. You know what that is?
No, what is Buffalo a place?
No. I don't know why they call it that. It's like it's there's different ways they make it. Like they make buffalo chicken where the bone is still in it, but mine is buffalo chicken wrap, so they've cut off the chicken. It has to do with the seasoning. I don't know why they call it that, buffalo. It has to do with like a little bit hot tomato seasoning with lettuce and then like kind of blue cheese or ranch dressing on it.
But why call it buffalo?
I don't know. I don't know why they call it that. It has to do with the, I don't know. It's like, it's totally unrelated to buffalo. I don't know.
Oh, right. So, Vermont Painting and Photos, Bruce, says
it was invented in Buffalo, New York. That's why.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
If that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. So another mystery solved.
Yeah.
Right. Is it nice, Paul? I've got to say, it's not something I've ever had. Now, Paul will be able to answer this on the ranking scale of fish and chips. What level is it? Paul is originally from the UK, so you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
yeah, yes. So he knows all about our fish and chips.
Oh, and Grayscale Painting says Buffalo, New York is his hometown.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've got to
Buffalo,
say,
New York has tons of snow. They get so much snow.
really? So do I take it Buffalo is New York State, as in really north?
Oh, it's central.
Is it?
And
What?
it hits up against Lake Ontario, but then the right part of New York State still goes up north. Like a skinny part of New York State still goes up north along
New York State
Lake Ontario, I think.
Does New York State go all the way up to the top where Canada is?
No.
Or does it stop?
Well, wait a minute. One part of New York State might, but most of New York State hits up against Lake Ontario, and then there's a right part, like there's a little part of the right that goes up. I should look at a map right now. I should look, but you have to see where the right part. Let me look at a map right now. But somebody else might know, like people that if they were born in New York State and lived and raised, they probably know. They're probably going to answer the question before I do.
For me, I always thought that New York State was that East Coast thin sliver that goes all the way up to the top.
No, it's not a thin sliver. No, the whole thing is not a thin sliver.
All right. That's only because I know that New York's on that east side.
Sliver. Hold on. Wait. Let me see what's going on.
Oh
no. It's not a thin sliver that goes up on the right.
Is it not?
It's like the central part hits up to Lake Ontario, and then across from Lake Ontario, of course, is Canada. And then about the same amount, it looks like a shoe. It looks like a shoe. Like the state of New York State kind of looks like a shoe. So then the ankle part of the shoe goes up to the right. And I don't know what it borders on. Let's see. Oh, yes. Let's see.
Right. What time being? I'm going to let that settle for a bit. What time we on? Oof, half an hour. I'm pushed now. See, look at this. We've gone from one subject to Geography 101.
Oh, yes. Half of, let's say, northern New York State. Yes, it borders Canada. Yep.
Does it?
Yes, the northern part. Well, the northeast part of New York State. It's the northeast corner part of New York State. Like I said, it's like a shoe shape, so it's not totally skinny. It's kind of like the ankle shape of a shoe. That totally borders the country of Canada. Mm-hmm. And then on the totally eastern side, it borders Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and yes, that's it. Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont. On the whole east side, it borders Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont.
I'd like to thank the British educational system for giving me all that education.
Yeah, God, they might have said it, just maybe you didn't remember it. Who knows? Maybe you just didn't. It was not interesting to you. Just like
I don't know.
My educational system, of course, probably taught me this, but I don't remember. I don't know if they taught me this or not. I don't know.
I've got friends and family dotted about all over not the United States necessarily, but Canada and I know some of my relatives have.
Look, let me tell you some. Can I tell you some more about New York State?
It's
very interesting. So the bottom, think of a shoe. So the bottom part of the heel of the shoe shoots out, and there's Long Island. You heard of Long Island, right?
I have, yeah. Long
Yes,
Island.
Long Island shoots out into the Atlantic Ocean. Shoots out to the Atlantic Ocean, and there's Long Island Sound north of it, Long Island Sound, and south of Long Island is the Atlantic Ocean. And then the bottom part of the heel of the shoe borders on New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and the whole southern part, and then most of the whole southern part in New York borders on Pennsylvania. That's where I live, Pennsylvania. And let's talk about and then the western part of New York State borders on Lake Erie.
Isn't that where Pennsylvania? Isn't that where Dracula comes from?
No, that's Transylvania.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see. And I believe that's Lake Erie. Is that Lake Erie? Yes, Lake Erie. Yes, Lake Erie. The whole, like the tip of the shoe, like the tip of the shoe, which they call that the tip of the shoe, which would be the tip of the shoe of New York State borders on Lake Erie, and then the northern part, like the top part of the shoe, not the ankle, but like, the top part, like of your foot, like the top part of your foot, that part of New York State borders right on Lake Ontario.
Sounds like you're describing Italy.
I get I don't know. This is a very complex. It has very complex borders.
If you look at Italy, they say long leg Italy kicking little Sicily.
Italy is a different shoe shape. That's like a boot. That's like a boot shape.
What type of shoe are you talking about?
Oh, here, let me tell you this. The kind of shoe would be like a high top sneaker. It would be kind of like an ankle boot, like a boot that's like it just covers your ankle. Not like Italy. Italy is like a knee, like a boot that goes up to your knee. That's like a boot that goes up to your knee. This is like a little boot that goes up to your covers your ankle.
Oh, all right. So there we go. That's our 101 with regard where people are in the world. If anybody else wants information about where they are, please do.
It's geography. I hope that's not kid oriented.
Well, I've got to say it's educational, and kids are into education. So I'm sorry, we can't talk about that. You know what? It would be really funny if everybody in protest went onto YouTube all at the same time. And did nothing. Just absolutely said nothing. I think we ought to put a protest in.
Oh man. No, but listen, I listened to this YouTube guy on he's supposed to be like he's like a little YouTube expert, and every Monday he has a live stream and he comes and he's like very knowledgeable about YouTube, and he keeps up on all the updates, and he does a live stream every Monday. And he was saying like what if like I show stickers sometimes. I have like little like Star Wars dolls in the background of my studio.
Yeah.
And he's saying that would only apply if it was if they came out with a definition that it was child attractive. I don't see.
I mean, of course, Star Wars is child attractive. It's made.
I know, but it's not child directed. That's different than child directed.
Directed directly at. It's such a a legalistic expression. Nobody actually defines it.
No. Go to the CAC. Go to Crete. I just went to them today, and I got better clarification on it. So Art Sherpa posted it. So it's pinned. It's the pinned post at the Creative Artist Collaboration. And go to the pinned post, and it gives you the official YouTube explanation. And so you listen to this YouTube lady. She's whatever. It's a lady, YouTube lady expert. I mean, official, whatever. Listen to the video, and then go down below, and they have like the official Q&A written. And I screenshot it, and that helped me be more clear.
Cinnamon is generally on the ball with anything art related
But
towards
she
you.
said apart from this video, she cannot give any advice.
No.
But she just said, watch this video, read the Q&A format afterwards, read the Q&A afterwards. And she says she officially cannot give any advice.
No. Well, nobody can because none of us are lawyers.
Oh, but she did
you know,
say,
in
like,
different countries, it's going to be different rules.
Her videos that have her children in it, I think it's her children. She didn't say her children. She said, like, that my videos that have bubbles and so in it, I'm taking it. I'm going to declare them child directed.
Yeah, but it has to be took into context, that, don't it? She should, what it were with that is when she reached a certain amount of people on her chat, she'd let some bubbles off and everybody a party. Yay, let's have a party.
Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about?
With cinnamon, yeah, that's what it were.
That's what the bubbles is?
She used to let bubbles blow. She had a bubble machine.
Oh.
And whenever she got
that was like a nickname for her children or something.
No, it's not to do with children. It would just, but due to these rules,
child attracted.
It's difficult to say what is what.
I know. The whole definition is too unclear.
So anyway, we've got back to this boring subject, haven't we? So
yeah. Instead of ranting.
Yeah, is that my third rant?
Well, it's me too. I'm ranting too. Let's see, what are they saying on the chat? Oh, hi, Green Wizard. Welcome.
You guys, you getting value for money. That's the third rant of the day.
YouTube lady official wherever. Like I know, I was like saying the YouTube official lady.
YouTube official lady.
What's Green Wizard saying? He's saying guest chat is ignored tonight. Giggle. What?
Guest chat?
What are you saying?
What you say? Sorry. Are we ignoring you?
I don't know what he means. Sorry. I don't know what he means. He didn't explain. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know what he's saying.
I'm so focused in on doing this painting because it's a complicated one.
Guest chat is... Oh, I know what he's saying. Oh, because I kept talking to you too long, and I was like all into about the geography of New York State that I was ignoring the chat. Yes, oh, Green Wizard, I'm sorry. Yes, I was. I know I was ignoring. That's what he's talking about. Me ignoring the chat. Yes, sorry, Green Wizard. And now he's laughing. He's laughing. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. We were all into the geography of New York State, and then we're on to our rants.
Green Wizard, you know what it's like. You just can't get the staff.
You just can't what?
You just can't get the staff.
What's that mean? You just can't get it right?
No, I'm blaming you for not doing the job properly. I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
Okay, just blame the hostess.
I'm painting. Okay.
Oh, look at this. And then Green Wizard, he says, someone throw a snowball at Diana.
Oh, there ain't any snow yet.
I don't think anybody has enough snow yet, unless you live where? Unless you live like in Colorado. Maybe Denver has enough snow.
Oh, but even that kind of snow, it's not proper snow yet, and it's a bit dangerous to throw snow that's not proper snow. You might put somebody's eyes out.
It could if it's like ice. Oh, you got to be careful. Some snowballs are they're dangerous. Some snowballs can be like ice.
When I were at school, one of the kids ended up having to go and have stitches. Somebody threw a fairly hefty snowball, and it hit them, and they ended up having to have a stitch around their eye.
Yeah, I believe it.
Be careful. That'll be another thing they'll be stopping us from doing. No snowball fighting. Not without proper health and safety equipment on. I bet that's what they do with kids at school these days. put like proper safety equipment on them before they're allowed to go out and play snowball fight.
I know. Oh, I got a good story. Listen to this. So when my husband was married before, when he had his baby, they had a baby and stuff. And the mother was so overprotective. She, like his ex-wife, she had the kid like in the swimming pool. Like the kid was like 3 years old, maybe. I don't know. His son at that time was maybe 3 years old, something like that. You know, like all the float devices that you wrap around the arm, the float devices, all those float devices that you wrap around the arm, you put around the waist, so it makes the kid float, right? All those little flotation devices that you wrap around the kid. So they're at a party. It's a swimming pool, and they had the kid in the swimming pool, and all of a sudden he flips upside down, and because of the flotation devices, he can't right side up, and he saw it. Luckily he saw it in a split second, and he said, and he righted his kid up, and it's because of all the stupid overprotective flotation devices. I mean, maybe that's why.
When we were, I mean, a year after that kind of.
The water is so dangerous for little kids. I mean, kids to be around. It's so dangerous. I mean, there's so many. I mean, there is a number of drownings every year.
Well, it comes down to that what we were talking about earlier, doesn't it? Lack of parental responsibility.
No, it's not lack of parental. Like, so here, this is what happened. Now, here's another story. So a long time ago, back in the 70s, my husband, it was with his father, and he's like a kid. I don't know how old, like maybe not a super tiny kid, like maybe 10 years old, 11 years old. And his father goes around a corner, and all of a sudden the door opens up. The door opens up, and he's going around a corner, and he has to hold on to him, his kid, which is my husband, to make sure he doesn't fall out of the car because they didn't have seat belts.
So did he open the door or something?
No, he didn't open the door. So it's like it's just back in the 70s, they had like less rules about safety. Like people were could create their own rules for guarding their own children, safe, being safe for their own children. But then the government comes in and creates all these laws that I don't know if I shouldn't say that, overprotect the child. I don't know if that's the case.
Look, we all welcome good ideas.
Now I just put my foot in my mouth saying because you know what, can you overprotect the child too much? I can't say. I shouldn't say. I don't think I don't think you can overprotect the child too much. I should say no, it's not possible to overprotect the child too much.
I think it is.
That's my personal opinion. It could be. I think it is.
We have.
Let's see what's going on in the chat.
We have a saying in England: "Oh, you're mollycoddling that child." So, and you can do.
Say this again. Say that again.
You can protect a child away from. There's some things that they need to be exposed to.
Exactly. You're right.
I mean, not that I would want kids playing with knives or anything like that, right?
Right. Or lighters, matches.
When I was a kid, I had a knife, but I was responsible with it because I used it for doing my art and craft, and they knew that I was responsible.
Right. But a lot of kids like to play with fire. They like to play with matches.
Never. Oh no, not stuff like that. It weren't legal for us to buy anything like that at all.
No, you just find it around the house. The kids find it around the house if it's not locked up.
You shouldn't really. I mean, an older child, 8 or 9 or 10 might be able to go around the house and find something. But a small child that's not of his own mind, a 3 or 4 year old, should be supervised anyway, at all times.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's in the house or isn't in the house.
Yeah, well, They should be supervised. That's right. I don't know. They could be. I know. You know what? Accident. I got another story. I'm sorry. Listen, I got another story. Another parental story. So look, things can happen even though a parent is watching like a lot. So look at this. So my music teacher friend, like she was a colleague. So back several years ago, like many years ago, she had a toddler, like probably 2 or 3 years old. They had a coffee cup filled with hot coffee on a table. All of a sudden, the toddler comes up, pulls the coffee cup off the table, and you know how sensitive kids' skin is, toddler is. They had to go into a burn hospital because the hot coffee fell on this very sensitive, because kids' skin is too sensitive, very sensitive and delicate. So this hot coffee spilled onto the kid's arm, because the kid like went and pulled the handle of the cup off the table, and like it spilled on the kid's arm. The kid had to go into a burn hospital, and then had like bad burns from it. And then the Child Protective Services, they had to come and interview the parents and question.
Well, I mean, that's over the top, isn't it? Because you know that can happen.
That can happen to anybody.
Fair enough if they're going to come and give the parents advice on how not to allow that to happen ever again. But I don't know. I mean,
stop yelling at everyone. Wizard says, Diana, take a deep breath. Stop yelling at everybody. Okay.
We do get onto some controversies. Well, we're trying to resolve the world's problems here. What else have we got to do other than do that? We're here to resolve the world's problems.
Whenever I get in heated discussions, I always raise my voice. My husband reminds me that. He goes, "Stop yelling." I'm like, "I can't help it. I'm in a heated discussion. I can't help it. I'm just raising my voice."
I think you get a bit squeakier.
I raise my voice when I get in heated discussions.
So I've got that like glow of light coming down onto it now. So that means very lightly I'm gonna have to go.
Oh my goodness. And you know, Bruce Anderson, what did he do? He just changed his name. He has 2 channels.
Yeah, Bruce has 2 channels.
Okay, Bruce, he just changed his channel. He said he had to switch down his TV. He had to turn down the volume.
There you go.
Because of me yelling, me raising my voice. I'm sorry. Oh my God, it's a bad habit. If I feel like strong about something, like, oh, if I get a heated discussion, if I feel strong about something, I know I raise my voice. It's horrible. I'm sorry.
So we find ourselves in that strange position of being done. There will be other.
Goodness, I know. Grayscale, and then Grayscale Painting says, "Diana, you raised your voice at the beginning of the chat. I heard my voice before and I know when I'm on live stream, it's horrible. I heard my voice on live stream, and one time I even messaged Ian apologizing to him. I
not even done anything, and she just
it's terrible. I know.
You need to learn.
Live stream, my voice gets so loud.
Relax down. Listen to some of your chill out music.
You should listen to my video from last. I keep my voice really chill on this video. On that video that I did last Monday.
Don't go to the extreme.
Dressed with art.
Don't, because I can imagine you do one of them. Them MSSFTW quiet videos or whatever they call them.
Oh, ASMR.
Yeah, I can't say that because I'm dyslexic.
Oh, okay.
So here we go. We are at the moment of completion.
Okay, almost 6 o'clock.
For now, I'm gonna.
Quieter.
I'm gonna. I know, but you'll go to other extreme down.
Okay, that's good. I have to go to extreme before I can get into the moderate tone.
Oh, you're using the rangefinder method.
No.
Overshoot.
Are you finished? Did you finish? Are you gonna work more on this off camera?
Yes, I am, Diane.
You don't need to lower your voice. It's only me.
I don't think your voice is low. I think it just goes right squeaky.
Listen,
like your Minnie Mouse.
Are you going to? So you are going to work on this off camera?
Yes, I am, Diana. It will only be little bits, but you know, teeny bits of detailing.
Because
in essence,
the architecture. Yes, I see. The architecture seems like it needs more definition.
Yes, you're right. It needs
a little bit good. It looks wonderful.
A little bit more darkness on the edges where the shadows are being cast, and that will be fine. But I'm not going to do that now because we're on the 10:58.
Oh my goodness! Grayscale Painting said I can't even whisper. Hi, Bobby. Bobby, you just came in almost near the end. Unless I keep this live stream going for, well, Ian probably has to go. I'm trying to keep my voice lower because I tend to yell on my live streams.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to quiet my voice, but I think Ian might have to go. I might keep my live stream going a little longer.
I don't necessarily have to go. I can keep working on it. It's just that it'll be a bit boring in the sense that I'm just working on tiny little bits.
Oh my goodness, I keep it. And then Grayscale Painting says, Diana, even Helen Keller said, keep it down. Wait, I don't understand that joke. What?
Mystic Unicorn, are you sending me some information? Don't forget to do it on that thing on me messaging, and I'll pick that whatever that information is up later. I might actually paint that baby Yoda. It's so cute. Just go and have a look at it. It's the cutest thing you'll see all week.
Yes, Bobby, we're gonna try to. I'm going longer. I'm going longer. I don't know if Ian can. Can Ian?
Yes, I can if you want me to.
You don't need to whisper.
It's one of the boring detail.
That's fine. Everybody love. A lot of people love detail.
I just feel like I'm boring people when I'm doing detail.
No, you're not boring people. Unless even if we took a vote, you're not. We don't need to take a vote. What do you mean boring people? You're painting.
Yeah, but detail is very. I don't know. It's a bit.
No. How many people love? Let's take a vote. Who loves detail? Who loves watching him paint detail? I do. Oh, okay. Let me get my marker out. Yes. Say yes if you love watching him paint detail. Green Wizard asked Mystic, did you see Mandalorian?
It's just come out this week, hasn't it? Or wherever. It's not out in the UK. They're not bringing it out until later on next year, which I'm really annoyed with. So I don't know. Everybody will have what. I'll probably go out and buy a pirate video or something like that. It'll be out on video before it comes out anyway, normal in this country. It'll be on season 27 when they're finishing last series when they bring it out.
You're not boring painting detail. That's part of painting. Already we have one vote. One vote from Green Wizard. He likes watching you paint detail.
Good. Well, that's all I'm left with now. There ain't any bulk painting to be done. And what you've got to do is you've got to be mindful of the fact that you don't want to be putting too much detail in things. You can over detail artwork. I mean, you wouldn't expect there to be too much detail in that area anyway, because it's in the distance. So you just got to be careful how much you put extra stuff on like that.
But your drawing had quite a bit of detail, didn't it?
Not really. I mean, that had a basic outline. I always depict trees with big, like, fluffy clouds. You know, just go like that with them.
You said you you paint trees like fluffy clouds?
Yeah, like.
That's how you paint trees?
Let me get a piece of paper. Well, let me just show you here. Here's the original drawing. And all you do is go. That's what I do to do trees.
Well, let me see.
I just swirly, like that.
That's when you're drawing. That's when you're drawing, right?
Yeah, that's when I'm drawing. That tells me that area is a set of trees.
But in painting, you treat it differently, right?
Yeah, you can use a brush to swirl and whirl like that, but it doesn't always work out. It depends on what type of tree and what distance the trees are from you. Sometimes you have to do them in a much more detailed way. So that all that does is quickly gives me an idea that area is trees. So.
And Madonna, you know Madonna. Madonna says, "Ian, you are not boring. You're not boring at all when you paint detail."
I wonder if I can.
Well, she says she loves watching you.
Oh no, Madonna is one of those people who regularly comments on all of my work, and I'm really grateful that she does. And Madonna is doing a lot of her own very good work as well.
Oh yes, look at her work. It's awesome. Yes, Madonna. I really loved your bridge. I think that it was not a covered bridge. It was a walkway bridge or something like that.
Here's an interesting point to look at. You see these trees here? Light's coming from there, right? So what are the tops of these trees going to be like?
I know. Now with watercolor, you cannot go back in and make that lighter.
No,
right?
That's fine. So what you do is you make this darker.
Oh, you make that darker.
So if you make the underside of it darker and leave that.
Yes, you make that darker.
And that will create a contrast, which will put your eye into thinking that that's light. So it's interesting how vegetation, like trees, are differently in different areas. You've got this clump of trees here, like that, which might have a bit of detail, but you've got these like bits of greenery.
You can't take it. Oh my! I have to stop. I have to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Green Wizard says. He says, get ice. He says, take a sip and breathe, and please, no more ASMR. He can't take it. Oh, which way? Whisper, or yell?
Well, why don't you come up with an alternative to ASMR?
Like a middle tone? Like a middle tone?
No, not a middle tone. Your tone.
Okay. Loud. Okay. Here, loud. Here is a moderate voice tone.
Mika.
There it is. There's my moderate voice tone.
That is slightly better than having to listen to people do AMS, whatever it is.
I love ASMR.
Oh, it does me head in. All them crinkly noises and everything. You can't
hear what they're saying. Well, no, there's different kinds of ASMR. Some kinds of ASMR I really don't like at all. All right.
And they're deliberately like chew a Mars bar and go. You think, do I really want to sit here and listen to that? Do I really?
I know some ASMR I do not like, but there's some ASMR I do.
But some people find it spiritual.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know. You know what? If you've ever been to a place where there's absolutely nothing around, no roads, no humans around you for 10 miles or so, and actually sat in a place where there's nothing, that is an experience other than like the sound of the wind, an odd bird flying by and tweeting and what have you. Now that is an emotional, uplifting experience. But listening to people crunch Mars bars and bags of crisps is not a spiritual experience.
What about ASMR eating? I hate that. I don't want to hear people chewing.
I can't even, even if somebody's like doing painting with ASMR, and you can hear brush strokes going.
I
I can't understand that.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, I know that you don't hear those noises when you paint. You don't. Honestly, unless I'm deaf.
ASMR painting where you could hear the brush strokes and you could hear the water. You could hear the water and you could hear the paintbrush hit up against the glass jar and the water. And I totally did it all just one. I've done one video ASMR painting ASMR.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't even do it. I'm incapable.
Wait, let's hear it. Let's hear the water. Let's hear the water stir.
I'm going to put that out away because I know for a fact that I'm going to get it all over everywhere. I'm going to get the big gun out. There you go for you AMSR freaks. And I mean that in the most.
I didn't hear the water. I didn't hear the water. I just hear your paintbrush.
There you go. I'm surprised it actually makes a noise because I've got anti-noise rubber band around it.
I did not hear it in the water at all.
Did you know?
No, I just heard I heard your paintbrush.
You hear that? Surely you can hear that. I can hear that, and I've got earplugs in.
Yes, I can hear that, but it doesn't sound like water.
No, I'm just tapping it against my thing, like people do. You know when you're tapping your thing out. But under normal circumstances, you can't hear them things anywhere. The turn. What I don't like is when people put a microphone, one of those that you put on your shirt, and they put it too close to the breathing apparatus because they sound like Darth Vader. Or honestly, you think, can you not move microphone to a better place where it's a bit more ambient and you can hear everything, not just your breathing? Honestly.
No, the worst thing is, well, I have not heard that, but the worst thing is ASMR eating. Where they say no talking, so that means you're only going to hear them chewing. I can't stand that.
Well, it's not worse with chewing than chewing.
To me, it sounds like zombies chewing, zombies eating brains.
Right, I've not got no reference to that, to be honest with you. So, not a big zombie movie watcher.
And I'm not either. I don't like zombies. But that's exactly what think of when I hear ASMR eating.
Might be that's what they might be. They might be like, zombies trying to make a living in a world. You know what I mean? So, they've got to live as well.
They got to make a living as well.
They have, poor things. I often wonder why how they go to the toilet. I mean, look at I mean,
Don't even go there.
um,
Ian did it. Ian went there. Ian went there. I'm not responding.
it's I mean, it's an high protein diet, isn't it? So they're gonna have some problems.
Oh, thank you, Green Wizard. Thank you, Green Wizard. And actually, this morning I found out I got 600 more hours to go. I knocked
Really?
out that. Yeah,
Oh, looking
yesterday I
good.
was telling people 700 hours, but this morning I checked, and now I have 600 more hours to go. Thank you, Green Wizard.
Do you know what I'm finding myself doing obsessively? Looking at me AliExpress to see whether one brush that's took over 3 weeks is going to turn up at some point. And every couple of hours, I keep looking at it. It's really obsessive.
Wait a minute, is that like your dollar store? No, that's like your Amazon. Your Amazon.
No, yeah, AliExpress is China's answer to
Amazon,
isn't it?
and you keep saying
things
the price is going to come down.
No, I keep looking to. I put an order in for a particular brush, right, and paid for it, and it's supposed to arrive within a certain amount of time. And every day now, as it's getting closer to that end date, I keep looking for it, and I can't stop myself from doing it. It's almost like an addiction.
I know what you mean.
When is it going to come? As though my life depends on it.
Wait, you're waiting to see when it's going to arrive to you in the mail?
Yeah, because I mean, I ordered other things, right, and they've all arrived, and they come from the same kind of place. Yet this one hasn't arrived yet, so I'm a bit annoyed that it's not arrived, even though it's got like another 20 days before it no longer is valid, the date, right? But I'm finding myself like obsessively looking every couple of hours to see whether it's arrived or not.
Well,
I don't know. I've got to stop doing that.
Well, you probably have done that in other areas of your life too. You've probably done that before.
Probably. What are you saying? I'm obsessive.
Yeah, I don't know if you're totally OCD. That's obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't know if you're probably not OCD, but you might be, or you just have a little bit of obsessive tendencies. I think I do a little bit of
Do you know what? I think artists on the whole have a slightly leaning towards obsessiveness. You have to be able to sit for hours and hours and hours and draw and paint and get to that level. What do you think?
Yes. Did you ever read the story about? Have you ever seen anything about Francis Bacon?
I have heard of Francis Bacon. Yeah.
You've heard of him, but you should see what his art studio looked like. It was like a trash mess. Trash all over the floor. He didn't even pick up his trash on the floor. You should see. There's a picture of him. He's impeccably dressed. He looks very neat. His hair is neat. Everything's neat. His clothes are neat. And he's sitting in a pile of trash, which is like his art studio.
Yeah, just because someone has a workspace that it looks to some people to be an unorganized pile of trash, it doesn't mean to say that it isn't. That artist may know exactly where everything is that he needs, and he just goes to that pile, gets it, and does it. And that's how some artists work.
It made me feel better because my workspace is small, and it's not the cleanest. And I was like, oh my God, look at him.
It depends how you define clean. I mean, today I give my table a cleaning. It needed it because it were getting grotty. That does not mean to say it's tidy. That's a different thing. Tidy is being organized, and some people do organization to such a great extent that every single place in the room has a specific spot where it goes every time. Whereas keeping something clean is just a matter of general maintenance. I think they are two different things, personally. They're linked, but they're two different things.
Well, yes, there's cleaning where actually, okay, there's cleaning like where you clean up dust and grime and dirt off of your floors and maybe the dust on your furniture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's decluttering. So maybe you mean like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I could allow this desk to be, if I left all my work tools every time I got them out on the desk where I used them, eventually it would become cluttered and I won't be able to use it. Doesn't mean to say that it's not clean. That's something different. Cleaning something is making sure that it's an environment where it doesn't have any harmful effects on you.
Oh, Green Wizard. He's like, I've known him since March or April, and he like on live streams. He's seen me on live streams and he heard me talk about my house and stuff. He's saying, Ian, you misunderstand. Diana is part of the fashion police and will hand out a ticket if it's messy. Because I've talked about how my husband kind of creates too much clutter, but I create clutter too, but I think his clutter is worse throughout the house. And then Green Wizard has said in the past, well, what can what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Can he do that? What's wrong with that? And I'm like, okay, I can't argue. I'm not going to argue.
Thing is, if it's not something that we think regularly about, I mean, these tools that I've got here, right? Let's put that
Bye,
out.
Paul. Bye, Paul.
See you later, Paul. These tools, right, that are on that desk there, I could leave them there, and somebody might think, oh, look at that clutter.
That's not clutter.
But yeah, but I could put thousands of brushes there.
If you put thousands, yes.
Right. So it don't matter. I mean, I know a person, Mrs. Jackson. If I left that there, she'd think that were untidy. That's her outlook on tidiness. Different people have different levels of tidiness.
Of course, there's different ends of this spectrum.
There is, and some people go to extremes both ways.
Right.
So, but as you are striving for moderateness.
Yes, moderate tone voice.
And I know you're striving for the moderate. I've seen that in you. You got to learn to put up with things that might normally make you feel like it's cluttered. And on another spectrum, you've got to learn to be more cluttered. If you know what I mean.
More cluttered?
Yeah.
Our house has to be going in the direction of getting decluttered because we're on the high end of being too cluttered. So we're trying to always strive for trying to get more decluttered.
Mm-hmm.
in the extreme. I'm sorry. Our house is in the extreme of clutter in many different places of our house. Yes.
We used the word earlier.
Not just a little paintbrush on a table. That is nothing.
We used the word earlier, didn't we? Tolerance.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Because I can't point my finger at my husband because 3 fingers are pointing back at me with my clutter. But I always look at his clutter thinking to myself, no, his clutter is much worse than mine. But I can't. I say that every now and then, and that it never gets me anywhere. That gets me nowhere.
That might be because he may have more things in a smaller space. Right? You could have.
Yeah, we have too many things for a smaller space, right?
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, one person might have a lot of things in a very small space.
That's it. That's
another person might have the same amount of things in a very large space. And they might think, wow, you've not got very many things. But it's still the same amount of things. And yet one is considered clutter, the other is considered minimal. So it's just a way of thinking, isn't it? Really. It's not as though it actually makes any difference either way. Grasshopper. That's who it is. It's grasshopper. Grasshopper.
Grasshopper?
Grasshopper. Do you not remember?
I know grasshopper, yeah.
What was it? I forget what they called program.
Oh, I like the details you put in the architecture. Yes.
Yeah, I put a little bit of shading. It does make that little bit of shading there. Does I may later on do a little bit of rocky, craggy rocks at the back of there, maybe. But I think at this moment in time, if I go any farther, I'll probably start overdoing it. So that is my painting for today.
The cape, did you use brown? Did you use brown on the cape?
No, what I did do originally is I put a grey at the right. Sun's coming from there, that direction. Yeah.
Because it does not look red or orange to me. It looks like a reddish brown, brown.
I can assure you it is. It's just that have a look at it now. It's orange, red, and a browny colour, which is what it should be. Remember,
to me, it looks brown. My eye. To me, it looks brown.
Well, it's
brownish red. It looks like reddish brown.
Well, I can definitely see. I mean, in the painting itself, it's red. It's very red. There's a little bit of yellowiness there. And there, at this side, which should be shaded, heavily shaded, a lot more than that, I've got a shadow colour at that side.
People, Grayscale says Kung Fu, David Carradine.
That's the one, Kung Fu.
David Carradine.
David Carradine, or whatever they call him, yeah. Grasshopper. You'll be my art student today, Grasshopper. Grasshopper.
Twinkles and Bacon. What's Twinkles and Bacon? You heard of that? Green Wizard. What's Twinkles and Bacon? Oh, maybe that was just part of the earlier conversation.
So there you go, my young apprentice.
Oh my goodness, 15 people are watching.
15?
Ian, if you have to go, I'm staying. I got to stay a little bit longer.
Well, I'll leave you in Diane's good whatever they call it, expertise.
Graces. Diane's good hands.
Good hands, yes. And we will just remember, if anybody wants to actually send a picture in for next week.
Yes.
Either give it to Diane or give it to me on my Facebook.
Because it's not just us picking pictures. We're asking the audience. Do you have pictures that you would like Ian to paint? It has to be a picture that you've taken or somebody you know that's taken, or it has to be copyright free image from like a site like pixabay.com. So let us know.
So what you're going to do? You're going to do a painting. How about you?
No, I don't have it set up for that. I have to. I would just do it in a chat show.
Copying this painting at some point.
What are you saying?
You have a go at doing this painting.
That one?
Yeah, not today, but.
Oh, you want me? That's your challenge to me?
Yeah, whatever I paint, you paint.
For what? The rest of the year?
Yeah, whenever. It's your challenge. The master has done his artwork. You copy it.
Oh, come on. The master said you copy it.
Oh dear.
My choice of medium, whether I do it in acrylic or watercolor.
I think you'd struggle in acrylic in this painting, personally. But you could give it your own feel.
Oh, Bruce says he's gonna paint that or something. He's gonna paint one.
You could get the. I mean, you're always welcome to make your own image up, but you could. Diane could give you the original picture that it came from, the reference image, which has the vast majority of it. It doesn't have that. I mean, a good exercise is just that.
Is what?
You know, a good exercise in watercolor painting is just doing that bit. You know, that building with that background and that like that.
Yeah.
If you're fairly new to watercolor painting, have a go at just doing that.
That would be funny. We could start a series where you paint it and then I paint it. It's like, I don't know. Well, I don't know how far the series, but maybe just a couple times doing that. I don't know if a whole
do it in your own.
Built on that.
No. I mean, I'm not telling you to do it every week. It's just that the more you see how it's done, you've got a video that you can follow along, and it'll be easier for you to be able to copy this than it would be just getting an image and trying to do it yourself.
Oh, we could say that to anybody that would like to.
Wait a minute, we're getting some info in. Green Wizard said Ian painted Twinkie.
Yes, Ian painted Twinkie. Everyone voted. Ian painted Twinkie. Do you have Twinkies? Do you have Twinkies in the UK?
We do, but they may not be the same kind of Twinkies that you're thinking of, you guys.
Okay.
Are they like a bitter tasting like stick?
No, it's very sweet. It's cream centered.
Oh, it might not be what I'm thinking of them. They're like long, thin, almost
not long, thin. They're not
inedible things.
No, they're really good. They're cake.
Oh, wait a minute.
Like hot dogs, almost like hot dogs.
A bun about that big and in middle of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I know what it is now. I know what it is. Paint a Twinkie. Are there different types of Twinkies? Well, if we get time next week and I get finished early, I might do a bonus Twinkie painting. Well, I mean,
Twinkie painting.
We could do a Twinkie. It's just that we'd have to like set up have an image where it's set up as like a still life. You can paint anything, and you know.
Oh yeah, do you know Wayne Thiebaud? Do you know Wayne Thiebaud? He doesn't live. I mean, he might be older now, but he's known for his pastry paintings.
Yeah, I mean, earlier this year I did a piece of
In the
chocolate
60s,
cake.
in the 60s or early 70s, he started painting a lot of, he became known for his pastry paintings, not watercolor, either oil or acrylic.
See, even Madonna's having a good laugh. That's what we aim to please. Yeah, earlier in the year I did I tell you what I'd like to do. A custard, an egg custard. Do any of you know what one of those is?
No.
No, it's a pastry, and you put this egg custard mix, and it's sweet.
Oh, that might be like our chocolatey eclairs.
No, chocolate eclairs are
You know what they are?
yeah, I know what a chocolate
With
eclair
like
is.
that's like a yellow pudding mixture. That's like a yellow pudding center.
Look it up. They're called egg custards, and they're made from egg. And you know how a scrambled egg goes?
Yes.
It goes all thick and gelatinous. Well, it's like that, but it's a sweet version. And they put nutmeg on top of it. It's very nice.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you.
Yeah, I might leave. I might leave too, because I can't think that I would carry on this show with I'm not painting or anything. It would just me be trying to talk to the camera.
Well, you've had an extra bonus 30 minutes anyway, so
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
and we've managed to get a little bit more done.
Right.
So we'll see you all next Friday. So don't forget to if you want your picture painting,
Yes.
get in contact
Send
with
a picture to me. Send a picture to me or to Ian to get it. If you would like Ian to paint a picture that you've taken, someone that you know has taken, that you have permission to use, or get for a copyright-free image from pixabay.com. And Monday, I have another guest artist. He's been in the chat. I've had him before. He comes on periodically, not every Monday, but Grayscale Painting is my guest artist for Monday. And then I do my own live art stream probably on next Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday.
See you later. Don't forget to contact us, Mystic Unicorn. And we'll see you all later. And I'll likely be putting this up at some point during the week once I've finished it.
And 11 a.m. on Monday, Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday is when my next video upload comes out for episode 2 of my De-Stress with Art series. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Video upload for my series. Learning how to de-stress with art.
We've already gone through it today, haven't we? We've
oh yeah. Monday does have to do with fun, like how fun, smiling and laughing has to helps you de-stress for the creative process.
Absolutely. Okay, then we'll see you all later.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Love and hugs, and thank you so much to my guest artists, and my moderators, and everybody that visited. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
moderator.
On Monday, 11 o'clock, my video upload. Come to my channel for my video upload, and come to my channel at 4 p.m. on Monday for guest artists. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to guest artist Grayscale Painting, acrylic painter extraordinaire, and I'm not sure if I'm doing I don't know if I'm doing a live stream on Sunday or not. Maybe that's an impromptu if I do. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye all.